Hello, I'm Ollie and this is CriminOlly, where I talk about crime, pulp, horror, that kind of thing. Today, mostly horror. I'm going to talk about all the books I'm going to be reading in May. So I'm going to try and take a bit of a different approach to planning my reading going forward. I did say this in a video a little while ago that I want to try and get away from overloading myself with books to read in a month, because that's definitely something I've been guilty of doing in the past. That said, I have got quite a few books to get through this month, but what I've tried to do is group them into books I definitely need to read this month because I've got various commitments associated with them, and books I want to read this month. And I'm going to try and not beat myself up too much if I don't get through all the want to read books. But what I did find towards the end of April, when I didn't, when I'd exhausted my TBR and read everything I needed to read, I found that the lack of structure was a bit of a struggle for me, which might sound like a weird thing. I'm sure it will sound like a weird thing for many people. But for me personally, I think I need a bit of structure to my reading to keep me going. So yeah, I'll have kind of two halves of this video. Firstly, I'll talk about the must-read books, and then I'll talk about the want-to-read books. And most of the want-to-read books I've already covered in my video I did talking about Horror Mayhem. So these are books for the Horror Mayhem event, which is running through May, which is an event that I'm a co-host of, where the aim is to read shorter works of horror fiction. So short stories, novellas, novels under 250 pages. So I've got a big stack of those, which I'm going to go through. But like I say, if I don't get through all of them, then I'll try and live with that. We'll see how I do. I tend to be someone who, when I set myself a target, if I don't hit it, I feel bad. So I need to not think about this as a target, I guess. Anyway, let me talk about the must-read books first then. So firstly, a couple that are for book clubs that I run. So for my Patreon book club, where my patrons pick a book for us to read every month, I'm going to be reading Skullface Boy by Chad Lutzke. So I've never read anything by Chad Lutzke. I do have another book of his on deck, which he sent me a while ago for review, which I haven't managed to get to yet. Sorry for that, Chad, if you're watching. But yeah, Skullface Boy is supposed to be really good. I've heard great things about it. I don't know much about the story, but I know that everyone I know who's read it has really enjoyed it. I think it's kind of a coming-of-age horror story. So yeah, looking forward to that one. And then my other book club that I run is the Birth Year Book Club, where we read books that have been chosen by people as being their favourite book that was originally published in the year they were born. So given that I've just had my 50th birthday, I thought I'd pull rank and pick the book myself this month. So my favourite book from my birth year is The Princess Bride by William Goldman, which I've read a few years ago and really, really enjoyed it. So I'd seen the movie first, and I suspect with many people that's the way they come to this book, is through the film. The film is wonderful, the book is wonderful as well, but adds some additional stuff, both in terms of the kind of fairy tale type stuff, so there's some stuff that's in here that's not in the film, but also in that kind of framing story. So the framing story, if you remember in the film, where you've got what's he called, Columbo and the kid from the Wonder Years. I can't remember either of their names. And Columbo is telling the story to the kid from the Wonder Years. There's much more going on in terms of that surrounding story in this book. So yeah, really looking forward to reading this. Anyone is welcome to join in with the Birth Year Book Club. Just hop onto my Discord. So there's a link to my Discord in the show notes for the video. Hop on there, join up if you're not already, a Discord member. It's free, and you can join in the conversation about this. And similarly with the Patreon book club, you just need to, if you would like to subscribe to me on Patreon and help support the channel, then that will be wonderful, and you can then take part in the Patreon book club as well. Other things then, so another Patreon related thing. So one of my Patreon tiers, the Ollie Fans tier, one of the perks of that tier is you get to pick to read, do a buddy read with me, and you get to pick the book. So this month's patron is Jennifer Vest, and she's chosen a book which I had on my shelves but probably wasn't rushing to get to. That is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. So I've never read any Bronte, or never read any Charlotte Bronte anyway. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what I make of this one and reading it along with Jennifer. Okay, next up then we have Jawbone by Monica Ojeda. So this is the pick this month for the World of Horror Book Club that's run by Michelle from the channel Michelle's Melancholia. So the name, as the name suggests, it's a club dedicated to reading horror books from authors all around the world. So Monica Ojeda is a Ecuadorian author. This book has had absolutely fantastic reviews, so I'm really looking forward to trying that one. And then finally, in terms of kind of group reads and buddy reads, I am reading This Sweet Sickness by Patricia Highsmith with Anne from the channel Anne Novella for our ongoing Patricia Highsmith read through. So I didn't particularly enjoy last month's book, A Prayer for the Living, and neither, to be fair, did Anne. So hopefully this one will be a bit better. Okay, moving on then. I've also got 3 books which I want to read for my Disturbing Books project, where I'm reading books that have been, or disturbing books that have been recommended by viewers. So the first of those is In the Miso Soup by Ryu Murakami, which I've heard great things about over the years, so really looking forward to that one. This was very kindly sent to me by a viewer a little while ago. I've also then got The Pillar Man by Martin McDonough. Funnily enough, I did see an advert the other day. This is on again, so it's a play. It's on again in London with Lily Allen in it, the singer. And then also got The Cement Garden by Ian McEwan, which is supposed to be incredibly disturbing. And after I've read this, I may try and watch the movie as well. Right, so that's all the kind of properly committed stuff done. Let's go through then things for Horror Mayhem. So there's a couple of things which I think I didn't mention in when I went through my Horror Mayhem TBR. So I'll do those 2 first, and then whiz through the others more quickly. So first up is Dreadful Tales by Richard Lehman. So this is a short story collection. So I started reading this ages ago. I'm about 115 pages through, and I'm wondering if I started reading it for Horror Mayhem last year and never finished it. But it's a short story, so you can read as many as you want, I guess. But I'm going to try and finish that. And then also got, and this one does push the 250 page nominal limit for Horror Mayhem a little bit. It's 330 pages, but the print's quite widely spaced, so I think with different formatting it would be under 250 pages. Anyway, it's Flesh Rehearsal by Brian Bowyer. So Brian, if you don't know, is an absolutely fantastic extreme horror author whose work I've really enjoyed to date, so looking forward to that one. And what I would say as well, as I did say in my kind of announcement video for Horror Mayhem, I am trying to read as many books as I can by kind of independently published authors for this one. So I've also got Sleeping Among Wolves by Robert Royal Poff, River of Ashes by Alexandria Weiss and Lucas Astor, Clockmore Law by Frank O'Neill, Out on a Limb by Louis Paredes, and The Har by David Sodergren. So yeah, looking forward to all of those. Oh, actually, there's a couple more at the bottom as well. So also Psychic Teenage Bloodbath. I'll say that again. Psychic Teenage Bloodbath by Carl John Lee, and Feel Real by Luna Chorio. So yeah, looking forward to all of those. And then also kind of, I guess, on the fringes of independently published, they are authors who are a bit better known but still kind of indie. So Eric LaRocca's The Trees Grew Because I Bled There, which is a short story collection, and Dead Inside by Chandler Morrison. And then one more for Horror Mayhem, The Spirit by Thomas Page, which is one of the paperbacks from hell. And then I've also got, hold on, I need to put this stack of books down somewhere. I've also got a load of kind of magazines and things. So various things that the publishers have sent to me. Well, one was a gift, so let me show you the gift one first. And then the others are all things the publishers have sent to me. But they felt kind of appropriate for Horror Mayhem. And things that I could kind of dip into through the month. So this one maybe not that horror-y, but Pulp Apocalypse by Justin Marriott, which is a book with a series of articles and things like that about post-apocalyptic fiction, if I can speak. And then we've also got more kind of pulpy paperback type stuff. So Pulp Horror, issue number 8, the collected Pulp Horror, with some fantastic covers there. Paperback Fanatic issue 4. Another pulp horror book, which I've just noticed is also edited by Justin Marriott, who did this one. This one looks fun. The Sleazy Reader, number 9. And then Occult Detective magazine, number 9. And then a few from Mr. Midnight. So we have a couple of issues of Midnight Tales, which is magazine publishing short horror fiction. And then apologies, because a couple of these have got slightly saucy covers, but 3 issues of Midnight Magazine as well. So I can't see what the numbers are, but anyway, here's one of them with a non-saucy cover. And then another one. Just need to get my fingers in the right position. And the final one. So yeah, really looking forward to reading some kind of magazines as well as books this month. It's something I tend to neglect in my reading because I've been quite focused on like volume and Goodreads targets and all that nonsense. So yeah, really looking forward to reading some magazines as well, and I will talk about them like I talk about the books on the channel. And then I also expect, and I'm not going to show it in this video, I also expect to read a load of manga this month. So, you know, as I've put up a manga vlog the other day talking about 10 manga series that I'd read the first volume of. Really enjoyed many of them and will be continuing to read them. So yeah, looking forward to diving a bit more into the world of manga this month as well, and I'll talk about those in my weekly wrap-ups. So hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you're going to be reading in May. Let me know if you're taking part in Horror Mayhem and what books you've got picked for that. And as always, thanks very much for watching. Hope you're safe and well out there. Hope you're reading good stuff. And I'll speak to you again very soon. Cheerio.